Welcome back to Timeless Tales of Persia, where the legends of the Shahnameh come alive. In our last episode, we witnessed the rise of Zahhak, the Serpent King, whose ambition and tyranny cast darkness over the land. With the blessings of kings forgotten, Persia fell under his cruel reign and whispers of rebellion began to stir. But where darkness spreads, a light always rises. In the wilderness, far from Zahhak's spies, one day the world was graced with the birth of a noble child named Feraydun. This is the story of the hero, Feraydun, and the courage of his mother, Feraydun. The cruel Zahhak, seeking Feraydun, had Feraydun's father, Abatin, captured and killed. Fearful for her son's safety, Feraydun's mother, Feraydun, sought refuge in the wilderness. She entrusted her child to a shepherd who fed him the milk of Bir Maya, a miraculous cow with a coat of many colors.
Protect him as your own, for he is destined to end Zahhak's reign. I will give my life if it ensures his safety.
I will guard him with my life. He will be safe here.
Zahhak's paranoia led him to destroy everything in his path. The miraculous cow was killed, but Feraydun was spirited away to the Alborz Mountains, where he grew strong under the care of a holy man. At 16, Feraydun descended from the mountains, seeking answers from his mother.
Who am I? Who was my father? Tell me everything!
Your father was Abatin, a noble descendant of kings. Zahhak killed him and destroyed our home. Your destiny is to avenge him and free the world from Zahhak's evil.
Anger and purpose burned in Feraydun's heart, but Feraydun, wise and cautious, tried to temper his fury.
Zahhak commands armies. You have no followers. Wait, my son, and gather strength. Youthful rage alone cannot win this battle.
I will not wait. With God's help, I will bring Zahhak's tyranny to an end.
And so Feraydun began his journey to challenge the Serpent King. The seeds of hope were sown, and the world waited for the hero who would bring light to Persia once more. Zahhak's reign of terror continued, but his fear of Feraydun never left him. Day and night, the Serpent King's thoughts were consumed by his enemy's name. Seeking reassurance, he summoned the great men of his realm to swear allegiance to him.
Wise men of the world, you know I rule with justice and truth, yet I have a secret enemy. To secure my throne, I must strengthen my army. You will sign this testament, proclaiming my righteousness.
The courtiers, terrified of Zahhak's wrath, signed the document without protest. But just as the ink dried, a booming voice rang out in the hall.
I am Kaveh, a blacksmith, and I demand justice. You, Zahhak, have destroyed my life. You took my sons to feed your monstrous snakes. A king or a monster? Which are you?
Kaveh's words shook the court. Even Zahhak, used to fear and submission, was taken aback by the blacksmith's fiery defiance.
Your son is yours, Kaveh. Now let us put this matter behind us, sign this testament, and join me.
You are all cowards, slaves to this demon king. I will never sign this. Zahhak's tyranny ends here.
Kaveh's defiance inspired the people. He hoisted his leather apron on a spear, calling for freedom from Zahhak's tyranny.
Men of Persia, if you stand with Feraydun, cast off Zahhak's chains. Follow me to victory.
An army formed around Kaveh, their spirits lifted by his courage. Together, they set out to find Feraydun. When Kaveh reached Feraydun, the young prince saw the apron as a symbol of hope and justice. He adorned it with brocade, jewels, and gold, transforming it into the Kaviani Banner, a beacon for all who oppose tyranny.
Mother, I must leave now. Pray to God for my safety and for the end of Zahhak's reign.
May God protect you, my son. Bring justice to the world and end this darkness.
Feraydun prepared for battle in secret. He designed a massive ox-headed mace, and skilled blacksmiths worked tirelessly to bring it to life.
With this mace, I will bring justice back to the world.
With his army gathered, Feraydun set out for Zahhak's palace. When the ferryman refused to help, he led his forces across the river on horseback, undeterred by the raging waters. Feraydun reached Zahhak's palace, a fortress of unimaginable grandeur. Without hesitation, he ordered an immediate attack.
This is where Zahhak's tyranny ends. Onward!
In the heart of the palace, Feraydun found Jamshid's daughters. Their faces lit up with hope at the sight of their liberator.
Are you the one who will free the world from Zahhak's evil? We have suffered so much under his reign.
I am Feraydun, son of Abatin. I will crush Zahhak's head and cleanse this land of his tyranny.
The sisters revealed that Zahhak had fled to India, consumed by fear and madness. But they warned he would soon return to Persia.
He is desperate, destroying everything in his path. But his time is near its end.
Feraydun's journey was far from over. The Serpent King's shadow still loomed, but hope burned brightly in the hearts of his followers. The battle for Persia's future had begun. With Zahhak fleeing the palace, a lowly man named Kondrau took his place and wore the royal robes. But when Feraydun arrived, Kondrau's pretense of power quickly crumbled.
O mighty king, may you reign forever. The fire of sovereignty radiates from you. The world is yours to command.
Prepare the royal regalia. Bring wine, musicians, and those who can delight with their skills. Tonight, we celebrate.
Feraydun's victory feast echoed through the night. But even as he celebrated, Kondrau secretly fled to Zahhak with news of the new king.
My king, Feraydun has taken your throne. He destroyed your idols and crushed your courtiers. He even sits with Shahnameh and Arnavaz by his side.
A guest on my throne is no threat. But what business has he with my harem? How dare he touch what is mine?
Blinded by rage, Zahhak rallied his army and stormed back to the palace. But the people of the city had grown weary of his cruelty. The city rose up against Zahhak. Men young and old joined Feraydun's cause, driving Zahhak's forces back with the strength of their unity. Desperate to reclaim his throne, Zahhak disguised himself and crept into the palace with murderous intent. But fate was not on his side. Just as Zahhak prepared to strike, Feraydun appeared like the wind, wielding his ox-headed mace.
Your tyranny ends here, Zahhak.
With one mighty blow, Feraydun shattered Zahhak's helmet and his reign of terror. But as he raised his mace to strike again, the angel Sarush appeared.
Do not kill him, Feraydun. His time has not yet come. Bind him and take him to Mount Damavand, where his evil will be imprisoned.
Feraydun obeyed the angel's command. He bound Zahhak tightly and prepared to confine him in the mountains.
The tyrant is captured, and justice is restored. Return to your lives in peace, and trust that this land will prosper once more.
The people rejoiced, praising Feraydun for ending the reign of darkness. Feraydun led Zahhak to Mount Damavand, where the Serpent King's evil would be sealed forever. In the cave's endless darkness, heavy nails were driven into Zahhak's body, pinning him to the mountain. There he would remain, a warning to all who dared follow his path of tyranny. Feraydun brought hope back to the world, cleansing it of Zahhak's evil. He reminded the people that justice, wisdom, and unity were the true foundations of a great kingdom.
May this banner remind us of the strength we share. Together, we will build a future of peace and prosperity under God's guidance.
And so, the reign of darkness ended and light returned to Persia. Zahhak was imprisoned, and the people looked to Feraydun to lead them into a new age of justice and hope. thank you for joining me for this chapter of Timeless Tales. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories from the Shahnameh. Next time, we explore Feraydun's reign and the challenges that lay ahead.